It's Hollie's Hotspurs back with another one. Chatting all things Tottenham, we're second to none. Special guests every time, if it's win, lose or draw. The passion is high like Harry Kane when he scores. Or when Lloris makes a world-class save. We got Højbjerg running the mid every game. Settle down, stick around, share your thoughts with the panel. And make sure you're subscribing to the channel. COYS.
Hello and welcome to a Hollie's Hot Takes episode. I'm a bit gutted because I was hoping I'd be talking about the North London derby, but instead I'll be talking about its postponement. So that's lovely, jubbly. But first of all, I just want to welcome everybody into the chat. Chris is here nice and early. I love that. Good evening, Hollie. Good evening, Chris. I hope you're well. Oh, Alan is here as well. Welcome, Alan. What about North London derby? In a way that it actually got played, but sadly, that is not the case. So tonight we'll be discussing why exactly it did get postponed and why I wasn't at the lane yesterday. But welcome everybody. Hope we are all well, despite obviously not seeing Tottenham. I'd like to say that isn't a blessing in disguise, because I think we could have gone to town on Arsenal, but it is what it is. Hello to Rustine. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. But where do we even begin with the fact that obviously the Arsenal game was in fact, I'm still trying to fathom it, and I must say the response that Tottenham tweeted out to hearing the news that it was obviously postponed, I think it was actually dealt pretty well, to be fair. Hollie A, the English Queen, thank you, Ross. And Leicester now is missing players too, I read. Yeah, we'll get into obviously Leicester. They've had a bit of struggles as well, I think, in recent weeks with COVID things, but we'll start with Arsenal in the sense that I'm still baffed to the fact that it wasn't played. Obviously I can see why wide open when they obviously let Liverpool get away with not playing their game, which has really ticks me off, to say the least. But nevertheless, obviously there was rumours, and it did come out that obviously they only had one COVID case, and all their other players were obviously in the tournament in Africa, in AFCON, or they were injured. They had the same injured players as us, apparently. So Arsenal have no fit players, even though I'm going to get onto that, Alan. Exactly that. That's the thing. That's why you have squads of under 23s to bring those players in. Arsenal did a runner. They did indeed. And they loaned out someone today. So that's what I mean. Apparently they had no bodies to play. But this is what I mean. I don't... It's going to sound quite bad in a sense. I don't blame Arsenal. In a sense, I do because we wouldn't do that. But I also don't because the PREM have let this happen, if that makes sense. As soon as they let Liverpool file in a thing to not play their game, and it's found out they had hardly any COVID cases, and then managed to play the game in the FA Cup at the weekend, it's just kind of left the door wide open. I think address in the sense of Tottenham have no players in the AFCON tournament, so why should we be penalised for them not having enough players? That in a sense really ticks me off. And having one COVID case, I get it. It's not treated as a clause of a pandemic anymore when you've just got teams submitting stopping games for actually the fact that they have no players in a sense that aren't their strongest side. If that's the case nowadays, well we're not playing until Sonny's fit. Like that's something we could do. Why not? If other teams are trying it, kind of highlights how the structure of the Premier League just isn't, well, it's never been right, has it? But now it's just shown its true colours for everybody to see. So in that kind of sense, I don't necessarily blame Arsenal in the fact that if they've let Liverpool get away with it, you might as well try it yourself. I mean, that sounds bad, but there you go. It's worked in their favour. I think for what Tottenham tweeted out, I think was pretty impressive in a sense. It's the first time I've actually felt that they've not wanted to apologise, but they've worded it in a way that actually sounds quite apologetic. I don't blame the Arsenal fans because they wanted to. Agreed, Chris. I think that's the kind of thing. The fact that Arsenal fans can see actually, yeah, I think they've got a point here. Actually shows if they're siding with us, actually shows how corrupt the Prem is. So let me get this straight. Arsenal are supposed to so short on numbers, so much with a crucial semi-final 16 legs 3 days away. Decide to loan a third player out in 7 days. Exactly, Phil. It makes no sense. But again, I don't blame Arsenal because the Prem let the door wide open when they allowed Liverpool to pull a stint like this. So they couldn't then not say, no, you can't do that because they've done it to Liverpool. And it's just, Hollie, thoughts on being in the next round of the Carabao Cup? Brilliant. Thank you, Cheap Slime. Thank you very much. Moving on from Cheap Slime. It's all right. I know. It's fine. It's all banter. I'm still fuming about the Premier League cancelling the Arsenal game, so it's chill. You're fine. The only thing is, when we play, we should both have fully fit teams. So the best team will win. And about, obviously, them saying that they don't have enough players clearly isn't the case. I had one COVID case. I think it actually came out on Sunday that they had 2. But regardless, that's 2 players. The rest, I'm sorry, are playing in the tournament. The AFCON tournament. That's not our problem. Our recruitment hasn't got any players in the AFCON tournament. And obviously they had the same injuries as us. But like somebody's alluded to earlier, they played an under-23 game like 2 days prior. Like, it doesn't make any sense. The Prem has set a bad precedent with this. Agreed. And I only recently found out that the chair of the Prem is a little. But yeah, once they let Liverpool get away with it, they've basically opened the door out for any team. But it's like Alan says, we can only play our best teams then. We'll wait till we're ready when Sonny's back. Do you know what I mean? When Sonny's back to full fitness, then we'll play Arsenal. Like, it's just, at this rate, the season won't bloody end when it's supposed to. I just think it's, like I said, I don't blame Arsenal in a sense. Like, it's not a great thing to do, but why not if Liverpool have done it? It's the Premier League for setting a bad example with Liverpool, I think, personally. But like somebody said, they have enough players. There's no doubt about it. They have enough players. They've just chosen to play the runner card, as we've all been bantering. But it just shows if Arsenal fans as well are pretty ticked off that it hasn't gone ahead. It just played with a bunch. Wolves played with a bunch of kids brought up, and someone played with a 15-year-old. I think that was Leeds. I think, was it Leeds or was it someone else? Or I can't remember. But you're right. Like, this is what your squad's for. Like, sadly, things in football happen ridiculous. Whether it's, I know this is the thing that ticks me off. The calling the game off was because of COVID. But that whole thing that they haven't got enough players isn't because of COVID, because they have 1, potentially 2 on the day players with COVID. That makes no sense. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, can't believe I'm hearing that Leicester might be cancelled because of their injuries. In a way, with work right now, and this is my highlight of the week. And I like that you're. That's my highlight of the week, me. But no, I don't get it. I really don't. And that's the thing. They've let Liverpool do it. They've now let Arsenal do it. So they're going to turn around to Leicester and say, no, you can't do it. I think it was Leeds. I think it was Leeds as well. I think it was. Leeds, to me, they're just a banter club, Hollie. They cry to Mummy Premier League when they cut their little finger and ask the Premier League to call the game off. Are you talking about Liverpool? I didn't know that the chair of the Prem was Liverpool. Is Hollie freezing on my end? Oh, you know why. You know why. What an egg. Look at this. Hang on. Where have I put it? 2 seconds. What happens when you don't get prepared? Might help if I had my Ethernet cable in, mightn't it? Let's see if that works. Right, maybe back in business now. Bear with. Right, there you go, Lee. I might not be freezing now. Jesus, that's the first I've ever forgotten. Oh my word. Let me know if that's better for you, Lee. But yeah, it's just, I really don't get it. It's a joke. It's that pains me to say it. It's definitely the Prem that have allowed it. But it is what it is. I just wish. I think the thing that really ticks me off as well was obviously for players. Normal service will resume shortly. I'm hoping it's better now. Now I've stuck the Ethernet cable in. It's the first time I've ever forgotten. But no, what was I going to say? I was going to say, obviously, what's this? No, our game yesterday, they had just 1 COVID case and they had players on loan. They could have recalled, etc., and had a full squad. I agree, Lee. I agree. I do agree. I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but I'm saying it's the Prem's fault for allowing Liverpool to be able to start this stint off, if that makes sense. Why have I called you? Sorry, Alan. Alan. No, I'm not saying it. They could have done that 100%. Lee, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying the Prem have made it so easy not for them having to do that, if that makes sense. They can now get away with having 1 COVID case, potentially 2, I think, on the day. That's what I mean. It wasn't because of COVID reasons. It was because they didn't have enough players. Enough players. their best players. They were out in the AFCON or they're injured. It makes no sense. But yeah, I think the thing that really ticks me off is obviously the Premier League don't from, say, abroad. I know there's people travelling from Canada, there's people travelling from Norway. Who's now going to pay for their travel, their accommodation? I feel for the Prem, it's football nowadays isn't for fans, especially when you're trying to make those sort of arrangements and then with a flick of a wrist. Or I could understand it if it was because of COVID, in the sense that they didn't have enough players purely on COVID basis. It was two. I think that's what really irritates me. And I think the Premier League, I think football in general is getting very untouched with fans, if that makes sense. So, for God's sake, yeah, saw some tweets about fellow Americans that went all the way over. That's what I mean. Like, okay, fair enough. Like, these things happen. But if it's going to happen, you want it on the basis that these rules are written in the sense that, okay, you've got X amount of COVID, people with COVID within your squad. You can't field a team because of that. But it wasn't that. It was because they had players playing in the AFCON, or they had players that were injured. We had the same injuries as Arsenal. We had Sonny out. So I don't get it. And the Premier League have just, like, no, it's over. And to be fair, it wasn't really much notice either. When did it come out? There was rumours that it was going to be postponed on Friday. Well, that gives you 2 days to make other arrangements, especially if you're flying around. Like, you probably would have been in the UK already, especially if you came from the likes of America or somewhere else. Like, you have to make time for this travel. I fully agree with what you're saying, Hollie. I think it's a thing that the FA are looking at. Like, one case could easily turn into 10 cases within a day. It's a very sensitive issue, I think. I agree, Jonah. I agree. It's something that I feel should have been nipped in the bud straight away. The trouble is, when you allow teams like Liverpool, sadly, to be able to do things like that, you then have made a rod for your own back, saying, well, if they've let Liverpool get away with it, you can't then turn around to Arsenal and say no, because then it's one rule for one, one for the other. But now, like, they've opened the door wide open. Yeah, literally the day before. I think there was rumours that it was being cancelled on Friday, but there wasn't an official statement until what? It was like, it wasn't even early on Saturday. It was like the afternoon time. Like, it's a joke. The league is going to get so congested at the end of the season. Players won't get a break. Pre-season will cut short because of the World Cup later this year. Agreed. I don't even know how it's working, to be honest, because don't we isn't the World Cup between like December, or is it November and December? Like, it's ridiculous. Rules weren't just for COVID. They put in injured players and AFCON nations as well. That's just crazy. Agreed, but this is the thing. The rule was brought up because of COVID, not because Sonny's injured. We've got this player off somewhere else, and this player's got COVID. That makes no sense. That's not what the rule was brought in for. That special, I don't want to say treatment, but that special thing was brought in because of the pandemic, not because your players are injured or they're off somewhere else with the tournament. Lee, Hollie, change the subject slightly. Do you think we'll bring any new faces in before the window closes? I bloody hope so, Lee. Do I think it's going to happen realistically? No. Do I think Levy's going to get his way again? Yes. I know that, obviously I want to get on to Dusan Valhalovic. I probably butchered his name again. I know maybe some of you saw on Twitzio was on a talk show, I'm not quite sure where, talking about, obviously, Dusan and the fact that Arsenal have been chasing him, but he wants to stay at Fiorentina till the summer and then wants to make a big money move. And then he was asked, where do you think he'll go? And he turned around and said Tottenham. So I'm just saying, forget Don Fabio. Let's get Fabrizio into sweet talking to Spurs. But in terms of your question, Lee, I want to think so. I've got to see it to believe it, if that makes sense. I'm hoping we'll get some few outs. I know there's rumours about Adama again. It depends how much money they pay for Adama. I think, again, he's very frustrating. He gets in good positions and then the final ball is atrocious. A bit like Emerson. Like, people were stating Emerson recently, the fact that he can't put a cross in. He can't put a cross in, but he gets in the right positions at the right time. And Ross is hitting on the head. He's great. And he's got great pace. And like you say, he's good with the ball, but it's just that he seems to have like a brain fart when he needs to do something. Like his final ball or his shot shot is just not. But depends how much we want to spend on it. If Bergwijn goes, is Adama a good product to come in? Who knows? It's interesting. We just got to wait and see. Oh, not Streamlabs. You can bet if the Prem tighten the rules because we have 4 games in hand play, we are bound to get injuries, and therefore we have no other choice but to field the youth. But that's what it should be like for everyone. You shouldn't have to postpone your games because you have injuries. That's not what this rule was brought in for. I know there's a stupid rule about 13 players and a goalkeeper, but I'm sorry. In a squad, you've got your main team. You've obviously got 23s. Like, it's a silly rule. Oh, bugger. Looks like Wolves want to side a 20-year-old winger, so Troy is looking good. Fair enough. What is everybody's opinions on Traore? Like I said, I just think he has a brain fart when he needs to do something. Surprised that none of the under-23s have been sent out on loan, apart from those recalled and sent back, unless I've missed any. Someone was loaned out or brought back in the other day, I think. I can't remember, Dan. I'm not very good with my transfers. I think McCandy, which I think is ridiculous, but anyway. I think the whole COVID stuff has become too much of an excuse to postpone games. Now I understand it can affect the squad, but that's the whole reason of having. Thank you, Woody. Welcome, Woody, as well. It's nice to see you. Yeah. Basically what I'm saying, like, postponements is because you don't have enough players because of COVID, not because you've got players off in a tournament or injured. Hope the Leicester game does go ahead. I was so bored earlier, I tweeted a picture of my dinner. I do. I as much as Tottenham stressed me out, especially versus Chelsea the other week, which was ridiculous, by the way. Yeah, I can't not have it. A brain fart. They agreed to. I go one Gooner site, Lee Gunnar, who TV does a great show with him. He had a guest. He had 2 guests were fuming at the game being called off 3 hours before it happened. He had 2 guests were fuming at the game being called off 3 hours before it happened. Oh, what do you mean? They knew that it was being called off before it was official announcement? I think we were all fuming. I honestly think, like say, Arsenal fans were fuming. Like, it just, yeah. I'm going to absolutely butcher your name. I'm very sorry. How did you become a Harry Winks fan? Well, Riv. I'm going to call you Riv, if that's okay. I was lucky enough to be part of the centre circle at Wembley when it was Tottenham versus Real Madrid. And that night, Harry Winks was born. Shortly after, sadly, a lady of my word, so to speak, and I've stuck by him since. I'm hoping that he's reborn soon, but slowly, I think he could be to Newcastle, if not now in the summer. Sad times. If Conte wants him, then I'm behind it. That's a fair enough comment. That's probably a good enough way to put it. Who was like with Ndombele, which is a touchy subject. By the way, if you haven't seen that video yet, please go do, because Stell's, I mean, most of you were in the live actually when it was live, but I've obviously clipped it down. But what Stell said, I was actually like taken back a bit. I didn't actually think of it like that, so make sure you go check that out. But what I was getting to was the same with Ndombele. If Conte doesn't feel Ndombele's got it, even though we all know he's a talent, then get him gone. And probably the same with Traore. If Conte believes it and he wants it, get him. I like Troy if he just runs down the wing at 100 miles there and pushes the other team out of the way. Just plays a simple ball to Kane sort of Lucas. That's a fair enough shout. Oil him up a bit so he slides past defenders with his baby oil. We're sorted, Adam. I like it. I like that. That's quite method in the madness. I like it. No, just a possibility. I think that's the thing. I think everybody was just very ticked off. Like, it's not our fault. And I think Arsenal fans, I think someone alluded to earlier, Arsenal fans were ticked off that it was called off. Just makes no sense. She's not. What's that? She's not a Harry Winks fan. Harry Winks is a Hollie Agbar fan. I wish. I think he's probably a bit creeped out that the doll goes everywhere. But yeah, so it's just annoying. Like I say, when on earth does it get replayed? That's another thing. Why don't they just stop international break? I don't even know when it is. I think it's coming up because I was looking at the fixtures list the other day to sort out Hollie's Hotspurs guests in the next few weeks, and I think there is a massive gap. It would just make sense with national break. Thanks. I look like Jimmy Bullard, but cheers. But yeah, if you are new to the stream, please do what Streamlabs is asking you to do, and please subscribe. We're so close to 2K, and soon will be so close to being monetized, which means we'll have fancy emotes. I'm going to get a Brazilian bold Lucas Moura emote as well because I love him. He's cool. I might get Harry Winks emote too. My digital pass update is 16 May for the stuff done. I think something came up on my phone. Hang on. Where's my phone? I said like game day pass update and I was like, what? Oh my god, you're right. 16th of May, Dan. I've only just clocked that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Please say it's half term, 16th of May. What day is that, Dan? Do you know? My thing with the COVID stuff too, nothing stops the big side from sliding in a weak side in the cup, so why can't such a thing happen in the league? Thank you very much. Because, Woody, Liverpool knew they were going to batter, I think it was Shrewsbury, but they couldn't be able to batter up. We have 4 games in hand as it stands. Win all of them. We come to second, and we beat West Ham's best side in years. Apparently, they keep saying so. That will be interesting. I can't believe they lost the other day. Is it right to decide? Is it right to decide on anomaly when you have the worst players with the worst attitude like Dele and Doherty? I agree. I think, like I said, if you haven't watched the Tanguy and the Ndombele video that came out the other day, Riv, I would go and have a look at it because it kind of talks about how I believe and myself and Luke believe that Ndombele just hasn't applied himself, regardless of what's going on. You're paid all that money, but you're talented enough. Just apply yourself. And then Stell kind of flips it and talks about how he's had to go through 3 different managers playing 3 different positions. He's lost his best mates. It's really interesting to see the flip side. Obviously, I don't believe in that. I mean, he's our best. He's our highest paid signing. Like, you got to show some worth for that, and I just don't think he has. A week before the Norwich game, which is the last game of the season. Oh no, not this. No, it can't be a Monday night. Please no. Like, if it's half time, that's sweet. But like Sunday was perfect. Morning today, but I say I don't watch the NFL. But regardless, I would have been dead today at work. But if it's a midweek game, it's ridiculous for me. Hello, Nippon. Thank you. Welcome. Hello, Darren. Hello. Welcome. Thank you. Better check when the term ends in May. Hopefully I have a new job by then, so don't matter. But still. Hello, Darren. Hello. Welcome, my friend. You don't like Jimmy Bullard, although you are probably a better footballer. I think I do look like Jimmy. Honestly, I'm quite like tame when I talk on here, but I feel like I do look like and have the same persona as Jimmy Bullard. I'd like to think I'm a better footballer. We'll have to see. Please try to do more of these kind of sessions. Do you enjoy them? I'm going to try it. I think Hollie's Hotspurs is always going to be a Monday at 7 p.m. where I get guests on. And then I think maybe we'll do a midweek Hollie's Hotspurs or a Thursday special because Fridays is spoon night. Maybe a Thursday special. We'll have to see. But if you enjoy them, that's sick. If you'd like, I think Hollie's Hotspurs is more structured in a sense. And it's quite nice to get other people's opinions on. But I suppose you don't really get my opinion on Hollie's Hotspurs, I guess. May half term is usually Whit Sunday week, the last week of May. So would I be at work? Oh, that is the question for F below. Imagine having to play Arsenal last day of the season with both teams needing the win for a spot. Oh my god. This was like the question was asked the other day. Would you rather have Arsenal? Would you rather be playing Arsenal in the final of the European Cup, or I think it was something else? Like I would rather just play when it matters. Because you want more bragging rights. Yeah, it'd be shit if we lose, but I just want bragging rights. We haven't had them for a long time. Big up the spoons, indeed. So maybe we'll always do Hollie's Hotspur 7 p.m. on a Monday. Obviously, if there's no game, maybe we'll do this. If not, maybe Thursday. But yeah, no. So to wrap up the whole postponement of Arsenal, I still don't get it. I feel like there's going to be more of it, especially like lots of people said about Leicester with their injuries. I don't actually know who's injured, as I should have probably done my homework beforehand. But it just shows. Your hellos was like when I said hello at Christmas lol. Sorry, Darren. Hello. My V-Days is something most of the week before work. Nice for most. Oh, work night for most. Yeah, it probably will be a work night for me. Does Lamela's Picasso Award count as his first trophy, by the way? If we get like a duplicate, we can stick it in the trophy cabinet. I mean, what a goal, though. I mean, we did go on to lose that game. But regardless, Coco Lamela. But no. Ericsson to Brentford, do you reckon, Riv? I mean, there's lots of rumours about him, obviously, coming back to the Prem. I sadly don't think it will be Spurs. We just do this, Tottenham. Sell Bale, get Bale back. Who else? Sell Ericsson, get Ericsson back. Like, it's just a revolving bloody door at Tottenham, isn't it? Hello, welcome to King Unofficial _ Hello, welcome to the stream. Like I say, if you are new to the stream, please hit that subscribe button. Close to the watch hours now, which is a madness. We could actually get some funky emotes going on in the channel. Thoughts on potential for Halovic to Arsenal? I don't think it's going to happen. Fabrizio was on I think I've spoken about this, the Kings. Fabrizio was on a chat show saying, obviously, Halovic wants to move in the summer. He wants a big money loan. It doesn't look like it's going to be Arsenal, especially in this transfer window. They want to get someone in this transfer window. But Halovic wants a big money move. The big money move is the thing that depresses me a bit because we all know what Levy's like. But when Fabrizio was asked where do you think he will go, he said Tottenham. So here we go. Have any Spitfire games been called off due to COVID? Well, I'm taking a bit of a break from football. So my games personally, I don't think there has been one in division. I mean, there has from other teams in my division, but not our game specifically. In the men's game, I think there might have been one. Which is the form of sort of player you would take back right now? Considering our striker issue, Jermaine Defoe, as he has, I think he's left on mutual terms from Rangers, or whether his contract came to an end. I don't actually know, but take back Defoe. Do you think we'll go for Peru Torres in the summer? I really don't know, if I'm honest with you, Riv. I really don't know. I want there to be movement in this January transfer window, but I know what Levy's like. And I know I feel like he needs to do something. I think Fabrizio said something, there's going to be a lot of movement this week for Tottenham, but I don't believe it till I see it. Been here since the FIFA days. You have indeed. That will never, ever happen again on my YouTube channel. I don't play FIFA anymore. I can't stand it. Even House, welcome, John. Welcome, my friend. Hope you are well. Arsenal have reported offered 60 million on the table. I don't think it's enough. It sounds ridiculous. I don't think it's enough. He doesn't want to leave Fiorentina till the summer. So regardless, I don't think he's going to join Arsenal. What's the verdict on Conte? Are you nervous he might walk? He doesn't seem as enthusiastic side. Unlikely if we don't back him in this window, I could get enough to do that. I mean, there's lots to talk about this show now. I'm glad you brought it up. I personally think if he doesn't at least get a signing in, one or two this transfer window, I can see him being very, very unhappy. But we need to remember he's on a big contract, big money contract, shall we say. So the likelihood of him walking now, I think is very slim, but I wouldn't rule it out, if that makes sense. I think we need to see a lot of outs as well. Because for a bad, well, I like to say the term egg. If you've got a bad egg within the side, it kind of resonates with everyone. Especially we've got young, impressionable players like Skippy. I don't think Skippy's going to have his head turned too much because of Ndombele or Dele, but I don't think it really helps cohesion within the squad. So I definitely want to see the likes of Dele leave. It might come to bites on the butt, but it's not really going anywhere. I think for Dele Alli, I don't know how many times I've had this conversation about Dele Alli, the fact that it's not improving. Yes, his work rate may have improved, but I just don't. I sadly think he's plateaued. I think he's hit his peak, if that makes sense. He'll probably go somewhere else and tear it up, but that's just the way it is. No to Adama, massive waste of money and no end product. I have said this. He does have a brain fart when he gets in good positions, John. So I am with you on that. I think to me it just depends. If Bergwijn goes and we can get Adama in for cheap, I probably wouldn't say no in that kind of sense, because I think he probably is a little bit of an upgrade to Bergwijn in terms of what he could do on the pitch. In terms of, I can't remember who said it earlier, just passing or Son or Kane in the final third. We might be all right. Hollie, is it me? I don't see any difference between previous seasons in the transfer despite having Patricio. I agree. I think I was just more confident, Darren, with Don Fabio, as I like to call him, because we've signed talent that can become a real gen. It's not like hit and hope, like for Sanchez. Like Gil's young. He's played highly in his national football. International football. The same with Emerson. I love Emerson to bits. I think he does the hard bit, a bit like Adama, gets in cracking position, he just can't cross. It's really frustrating. So I am with you on that. I'm just hoping now when it really matters, we need to make at least one. We need to this January, seriously. Has anyone ever called you a sad player like Harry Maguire? Yeah, I do have a big forehead, Riv, to be fair. I agree. Arsenal fan base aside, if Spurs don't sign anyone, Conte may as well give up with goodbyes. The squad ain't good enough and could walk away. I think so, but like I said, he's got a big money contract. I think it would probably improve the chances of him leaving, if that makes sense. But I don't think he's going to leave straight after the January transfer window if he don't get what he wants. But he needs to at least have one, I think, to keep him a little bit. Oh, God. Who would you sign for Spurs in the bottom of the table? Should they be relegated? Big one for St. Maximan. I agree. But he's not going to be cheap because he's literally probably one of the best. Well, he is probably the only one that's probably very good at Premier League standard. I know they've signed a few signings, but he's the only one that's Premier League standard. Maybe Trips. But again, I think he's had his moment and he went to Madrid and came back. So, yeah, St. Maximan is a good one. I agree. Would he want to spend a year in the Championship if they get relegated? Because they'll definitely come straight back up. I don't think so, personally. Depends how much he loves the club. I think there is rumours that he does really love the club. So, bucks, shall we say. Again, Streamlabs is doing my work for me. If you are new, please remember to hit that subscribe button. Would mean the world. So you never miss a Hollie's Hot Takes. But I think by some people's counts, they enjoy this content. So it'd be more often. Patricia was only brought in to get cheap and free signings other way for Levy to spend less money. Agreed, Mr. Simon, number 7. I'm assuming that's a dedication to Sonny. I like it. I agree and disagree because I feel like, unlike Levy, Patricia has a bit of know-how in what players are good rather than punting like Sanchez, although he's developing a bit better, isn't so good. So I do agree with you to an extent, Mr. Simon. Jonah, I guarantee long term we'll regret McCandy. I don't understand it. I literally don't. Why don't they just promote him into the first team? I know he's young, but he's banging in goals left, right, and centre for us in the others. It's just a joke. You think obviously we're not in the Conference League anymore, obviously, or the Carabao Cup, but you'd be thinking that man would be getting at least the start on the bench, like a spot on the bench. I just don't get it. McKenny not stay with us. I can't see it from this point of view. He's at an age he wants to make a name for himself in senior football. I agree. I think it's I don't know if is that official, Jonah. Spurs need to sign Dusan Vlahovic now. Get him sorted for when he can start playing for us, start the new season. I agree, John. I think I said it earlier. Fabrizio Romano was on a chat show. I think it was today or early hours of last night, talking about Dusan and the fact that obviously Arsenal are pushing for him to come, but he doesn't want to come. He wants to stay with Fiorentina to the end of the season and then have a big money move. And obviously, the term big money move rings alarm bells for any Spurs fan because we know that doesn't normally happen. But when Fabrizio was asked who he thinks should join, he said Tottenham. So I just think we should bin off Don Fabio and get Fabrizio Romano to do the sweet talking, personally, John, because I would love that. I think Max Aarons could be really good. I think so too. I think weren't we linked with him last summer to get him? I agree too. I think the one person I really want though is Lamperty from Brighton, but again, that will not be a cheap player to buy, especially because he's English as well. But I like Lamperty. That's who I'd want at Spurs. In my opinion, Premier League take majority of the blame for postponement. Liverpool took advantage of the Premier League postponement rules. Oh, don't worry, the Kings. I've already said that. I agree 100%. It's the Prem let the door wide open when they allowed Liverpool to get away with it. And to an extent, I don't blame Arsenal for doing it. I just do it, if that makes sense. It makes no sense if you played an under-23 games 2 days before. But I think a lot of Arsenal fans are angry at that too. Jump on the Arsenal, whereas other clubs done it as well. You don't hear the word from pundits. No, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think there's a lot of Arsenal fans that were ticked off that it was called off. Again, it's the Premier League. They're just letting it happen. Like I said, it'll probably happen to us against Leicester on Wednesday, isn't it? They might pull the same stint, but you can't blame them either because they let the door wide open after Liverpool. It makes no sense. Spurs made a massive mistake in selling McCandy, great attacking mid player. I know. Saw that. I was like, oh my God. Had a medical today, apparently. Literally, we create talent with the likes of Skip and McCandy, and we decide not to. I mean, we've done it with Skip, but we decide not to. It's very infuriating. That McCandy transfer beggars belief. I thought he was going to be the next one coming through our academy. Agree, Lee. I agree. It's absolutely like I can't believe it. When I saw it, I was like, huh? I was like, there's no way. He's like bang, like he's ridiculously good. And changing. Oh, Hollie's having a mess tonight. I like Conte as a manager, but he does not have a reputation on youth development. I agree and disagree. Like he's bringing Skip through the ranks. I feel like he's adapted though. I can't remember who I was talking to the other day, but we were talking obviously about Jose, where I thought he was going to be the one to bring trophies to Spurs. I mean, he quite could have done if he wasn't sacked a week before the final. But anyway, that's another discussion in itself. But I have to admit, Jose wasn't really adaptable to the modern way of thinking. If that makes basically he had his way or the highway. Whereas I feel Conte is more adaptable. So hopefully, with this depth we have in the team, you'd like to think that he would promote youth. He's doing quite well with Skippy at the moment. I know Skippy kind of broke into the team slightly before he came, but regardless, like he's pushing Skippy on. So it would be interesting, Darren. I do agree with past things at other clubs. He necessarily hasn't had a reputation for that, but I'm hoping it's different now. Will Levy let Conte spend 75 to 100 million when he only has 18-month contract? I'm thinking if we don't make top four, he's gone. I agree, but if he doesn't spend money, so before we got Conte in, well, even prior to that, obviously when the protests were happening that I went to, which is why I had the lovely let me get rid of this. So I had the lovely egg poster there, which I think there was a lot of people that were still sitting on the fence of Levy and Enick. But I think after not getting in Conte, I know Conte said he wasn't ready to go into management, but we all know that's probably because Tottenham didn't pay what he wanted. There was rumours that he wanted more backroom staff, and Tottenham said no. And got Nuno in when we saw the same dross with what happened with Jose. I mean, Jay, the other half, fits it perfectly. We had a defensive-minded manager who was Portuguese, who won a lot, and got in a defensive Portuguese manager who hadn't won a lot. It just kind of beckons. When that happens, everybody was ticked off and they were on this bandwagon of Levy out. And it's the worst, like hearing Enick out and Levy out at a stadium is, it's unheard of. And to hear that was pretty impressive. The fact that fans are actually sitting up and listening. But to then get Conte in, like me, I don't have a reason necessarily to protest because they've done what we've wanted to do in a sense that they've got the manager in we've wanted. But I think if they get this wrong in this January transfer window, there's going to be a lot more people wanting their heads, basically. And especially with the news of a new renovated buildings outside. I mean, it's lovely for Tottenham, but again, we have no money apparently, but we can invest in building properties and cinemas. But that's another conversation in itself. But yeah, I think if they don't do something this January transfer window, I think it will harder, and I mean a lot harder, because hearing Enick out at a stadium, like I said, was pretty impressive. Would Spurs regret not signing Tomiyasu in the long term? Arsenal were close to signing Emerson Royale, but Arteta refused at the last minute. I think we were after Tomiyasu as well, but we were like, nah, and we've decided to go for Emerson instead. So I don't know. Hindsight's a beautiful thing. Come back to me in a couple of years, the King, when we've won stuff and you haven't. Don't clip that. Pantos and Romero pair could be a beast pair under Conte. I agree. I don't think Dyer is the man going forward. Don't get me wrong. I think in recent weeks he's been a rock. Obviously with his injury at the Mo, or I think it's his injury at the Mo. Obviously it isn't helping. It's hindering it. But we haven't really seen the best of Romero and Dyer. Who knows? It might be all right. Do you see Jeff Ettinger as a future English international? If you asked me this before he had his stint against Chelsea a few weeks ago, I probably would have said, yeah, I think he's all right. But I don't know whether playing him in different positions has really mucked with his head. Because when we first saw him crack onto the scene in the senior squad against Liverpool, it was class. But since then we've moved them all around. So I don't know. I do not know. And Caddy wouldn't sign a new contract. He wanted first team football. He probably should have been loaned out. I agree. I think loans have done players wonders at this club. Obviously, Skip at Norwich and coming back into bossing it. But sadly, McCandy's been knocking at the door of the first team for ages with his performances in the under-23s. I don't blame him for wanting out. It's sad for us, but there we go. Romero and Boatman would be the best. Whoa. I first heard about my candy transfer via a thread on Twitter on Friday. I could not believe it. I literally, I think I might have seen the same thread. I was like, what is this? There is no way. Like you said, he's probably our best prospect, Lee. Carl, I wish I knew, but I can't remember who said it. I forgot to say it, but someone said in the chat on their phone their ticket has been rescheduled for May. So it could be May. Cheers, Dick. Sorry about Spurs, I forgot how to win things. Apart from Pukas Awards against Arsenal, because Lamela's got a Rabona against you and one's a Puskas for it tonight, Mr. Arsenal podcast. Just say. Yes, Mr. Podcast is an Arsenal fan. Welcome. It's all right. I know you're joking. With the flat development was part of the original agreement with the council to develop the area when Spurs built the new stadium. I suppose, Chris, but Levy and Ennick don't have great timing, and it definitely isn't the best of timings now, is it, to be honest? To be thinking about new property when it's a January transfer window does. All I'm saying, welcome for tuning in, Mr. Arsenal. How do you feel about the postponement? I know lots of Spurs fans were ticked off because obviously you had one COVID case, which turned out to be 2 on the day. I'll give you that. But it's not our fault that you have loads of players in the tournament and you have injuries. You had the same injuries as us. But I think a lot of Arsenal fans are also ticked off at the postponement as well. I just don't get it. But I don't blame you because it's the Prem for letting the door wide open after allowing Liverpool a free pass, basically. Hollie, do you think the Queen will still be alive by the time? I love the Queen. I hope she's not. I hope she gets. I reckon she's a Tottenham fan. I'm going till we win something. Oh dear. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but Conte can't help us. Don't worry, Alan. I think we're all thinking the same at the back of our heads. I thought that with Jose. Jose can't help us. Who bloody well can. Yeah, but don't think like that. I say midweek in March probably. The trouble is we have 4 games to try and fit in. My ticket now says May the 16th. Imagine winning Puskas. I know. Spursy. Very Spursy, the king. Very Spursy. Arsenal will get out to stand up for a game. Yeah, the runners. Isn't that what they're called? Agreed. Yeah. It's the timing. It's just the timing. Hello, Barnabas. Welcome. Big up, Hollie. Thank you, COYS. I think the Queen will live to be 100. I hope so, man. Then she can send a card to herself. HM Queen is an Arsenal fan. Are you sure? Are you sure? How do you know this? We might not win the Euro this season, but we have won a couple of some down the road. It's right. It's all banner. This is our year, man. Tottenham are back under Conte, so I've heard. If we get some signings in. But no, it's all banner. I know. Just can you please hurry up and sign up for North London Derby? Pretty sure. Oh, I need to get some Googling. Yes, that. The Queen is a hammer, like. Oh my lord. Why do Spurs lack intensity? We show some, only we concede. It's a very good question, Riv. I think it's because, and I will keep saying this squad has been so stale for so long, there's no competition for spaces. I say it all the time. Even Harry Kane hasn't got to worry about his position. How long have we been saying that for? I think that's what it is. Yes, the Queen is a gooner. Well, for fuck's sake, no, I don't like the Queen. No, I'm joking. I do love the Queen. But still. Crazy lady. But yeah, I hope the Arsenal game gets postponed. Well, it is postponed. Gets sorted for a weekend game because I don't think they can have a North London derby midweek. It's ridiculous. I mean, I can see it happening because of TV rights, but still, it can't be happening. We'd love to see Arsenal versus. I obviously want that the opposite way round. We all know she admitted being a gooner. I'll have to Google it. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just want to Google it. Your history started only when the Premier League did. John's Coed. With the added cut massive. But no, off the topic of Arsenal, we do play Leicester on Wednesday, provided it doesn't get postponed. Now, they did win when I did my homework before I came on. I actually did homework for once. They won 4-1 against Watford. So it will be interesting against them. I mean, we've had a rest, but we're also coming off the defeats to to Chelsea. So, but I must admit, we did put a good fight up against them in the second leg until Galini decided to come out like an absolute buffoon and an egg, then commanding it, and it going into the bloody back of the net. So I was a bit fuming by that. So, you know, we're coming off the back of losses. They want to turn up. Well, we hope they turn up, but we'll have to wait and see. Please do what Streamlabs is asking. It's doing a good job for me tonight. If you are new, please subscribe. I'm going to try and do more Hollie's Hot Takes, but like you know, Hollie's Hotspurs is normally every Monday at 7 p.m. with guests, former Spurs players, people you all know and love from the YouTube world coming on the talk. But for something for your information. Welcome to the stream. We all Liverpool Thursday night, right? A bit come see, come saw. Yo, Hollie, been a subscriber for a long time. Your shows and you are cool. I speak well and don't guess things up. Ravi, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. I hope I've said your name right. Things like that make me carry on doing this. So thank you. Like I say, it's quite a nice therapy sesh. Especially with last year with Spurs. So hopefully soon we'll be able to be talking about trophies, as we haven't won one in a long time. West Ham losing was a great result for us, but saying that we don't have some really hard games left, we need to step up and get into the top four. Agreed. Top four will obviously be on the owners' cards, especially because we all know they love top four more than trophies. But I'm hoping we can hopefully go on and do the FA Cup. I mean, it's the last chance of a trophy after being kicked out of the Conference League, which I must say wasn't our fault. It was actually because we had COVID cases, because they shut our training ground down. Just saying, Arsenal. But still, we do need to push on this in the first half. But yeah, shall be interesting. Oh, thank you, Barnabas. I don't really know. Is Lucas has been our best player this season? Riv, you are 100% correct. Even in the Nuno dark times, he's been the burning light. He is majestic. I call him the beautiful, bold Brazilian egg. He rises like a salmon, and he just creates something out of nothing. Yes, at times he does run into players that really ticks me off, but playing in a more central role, more out on a wide role. He has to come in and he has to pass the ball. When he was in a more of a central position, but now that he's in a more, say, position where he needs to be able to release the ball to get into position himself, I think works a lot better for him. Leicester haven't played this year yet. Could be good for us. Leicester could be a little stale. Wait, for the Watford, when did they play Watford? Jesus, Mr. Simon, you can tell I have not, Mr. Simon, done my homework properly. Hate Liverpool more than Arsenal. I think everybody hates Liverpool. I mean, I've just seen this from Ravi. I'm a Liverpool fan. I like to hear what other teams fans say. So I say this, Ravi. I just feel Liverpool for me. I don't know. I think the whole thing about them wanting to postpone their game because of the COVID, when actually they didn't really have hardly any COVID cases, but managed to fill the team against Shrewsbury, still really ticks me off. But I don't like Arsenal. I'm not really a fan of Liverpool, so I'd rather just not know about it, to be honest, and just ignore it. Would you give Nuno any credit for improving Lucas? That isn't me coughing. Nearly choked to the question. I think I swallowed a fly. I don't know. It's a hard question. I feel like Lucas has always been a burning light. Even under Jose, I think he's been a burning light. I think he just was more highlighted under Nuno because everybody else was so dross, if that makes sense. I'll give the guy a little bit of credit because he was a nice, happy chap, but that was about it. It sounds like Conte's going to what's been hearing. I've heard that too, Alex. Like I said, he's still got a big money contract. I don't think he's got. I think he'll be more likely to walk if we don't sign anyone in January, or at least get some of the deadwood out. He don't more likely, but if we get one or two in, I don't think it will be. Levy thought he was being clever by giving all the players long contracts so he could get the highest possible transfer, but now he can't sell anyone. No, because they're so stale and they've had no competition in a sense that they've had no. I always say this: you need competition for spaces in the team. Harry Kane hasn't had a competition for his striker role in what? How many years have we been saying we need a backup striker? There's your question. I hate Liverpool, but more than Man United or Arsenal. Fair enough. Conte will walk if he doesn't get backing from Levy 100%. And then I'm saying, then the banner comes back out. Because to be honest, we've got Conte, and I'm not one of these just to jump on the bandwagon because you know that I've been an account for a long time. But I wanted Conte. Now you've got to do the next bit and back him. I think if he doesn't get backed, John, there'll be a lot of very unhappy people, more than people being on the fence. But Spurs play bad in smaller grounds like Stamford Bridge or against Crystal Palace. It's probably because it's more intimate. It's an interesting it's an interesting point you make there. It's probably because it's more intimate, maybe a bit more intimidation. Sorry. I just think it depends what to be precise. Self-improvement. Levy Clown, agreed. I do hear what you're saying about Liverpool. Your opinion is all good. Thank you, Rav. I didn't want you to click the unsubscribe button. Hey, Taylor, welcome, my friend. Hello. After Conte, there is no other top-class managers left. Levy will have riots in his hands. Agreed. More so than before. Because you know what I was like? I was very passionate with the whole Super League thing, and I think a lot of fans were very passionate about the Super League thing. So then the edge, which is why I've got the bald egg poster. But look, it pissed me off when we got Nuno in. And then when he got Conte in, I was like, okay, you're finally listening. Because fans were, well, like I said, they were singing in stands for Nick out. Now to see that, I think I had a little Google the other day, and our ticket sales, as in the amount of bums on seats, it's only been about 40,000. I know we've had a few games cancelled, this, that, and the other. It's only been around the 40,000 mark. And you know what Levy likes? He likes money to fill up his stadium. Obviously, we've seen another increase in prices. Another increase in food prices. I mean, here we go. But like I say, if he doesn't do anything in January, I think there'll be a lot more people that were on the fence, maybe thinking, actually, yeah, I've had enough now. But like I say, I'm content at the moment because he's got Conte in. That's what we all wanted. I wanted Conte in. I wanted a manager that was class enough to go with a nice stadium, to go with the nice training facilities, so we can get silverware. But he needs to be backed, and if he's not backed, like John says, there will be riots, I think. Rabbit, have you got a 50-page book? Because I can write you a novel. Sounds like Tottenham not signed Troy, he's out. I don't know, there's been lots of talk in the show tonight that he could be. I don't remember who said it, but someone said earlier that Wolves are looking to sign a 20-year-old winger. I don't know how true that is, but hey. Hollie, what do you think of challenging and competing? A whole new squad. I've said this for so long, to not sign anyone in 2 transfer windows while other teams are catching up. Like, it baffles me to this day, Ravi. It baffles me. And now we're playing catch up. But because we've had a world pandemic, we can't catch up, if that makes sense, unless we play big. But we know our owners won't play big. So it's very interesting. I've also seen rumours of Dybala again, and I swear to God, I don't want another thing like last summer where it was just like he's coming. Oh, they didn't do his image shining rights. I can't be going through that again. That's just a no. If I see the name Dybala, it gets deleted off my Twitter. It goes into mute because I'm not having that again. But yeah, oh my God, it's only Monday. But yeah, I just wish I was at the North London Derby yesterday. It's a joke. But I would like to thank you. I mean, I've been live for 53 minutes. Wowee. It's gone so quick. I want to say thank you to everybody that's tuned in this evening. I think we've had a good discussion. I mean, if you fancy more Hollie's Hot Takes, please let me know. Like I say, on Hollie's Hot Takes, I don't really get my kind of views. It's more of me trying to direct the conversation pretty badly. And I add in a joke here and there. What's this one? Emerson Royal is actually very good, but gets a lot of hate. And so, Riv, I was talking about this earlier. He does the hard bit. He gets into the hard position of being able to find a little bit of space in behind the defence. But his crosses is beyond me. I know he's only young. I think he's only 21 or 22. So that will come. But how long are we going to wait? Because us Spurs fans were very impatient at the moment. Why did the mouse not work? Oh, sorry, I think Levy got Conte to store on this club. No money to spend. Probably. He maybe got it in because he was like, sod it, I just need to give them what they want so they shut up. Maybe. And they just think that we'll be content with just having Conte and not necessarily having the players to do the business. Maybe, you might be right. Llorente was that last striker we signed, which I think was 2017. Exactly. The golden hip man, I like to call him, against Man City. Again, if you are new in the world, I would love to get to 2K before the end of the season. That would be majestic. I've nearly hit my watch hours, so thank you for everyone that's watched even a minute or a second of my video. Soon we'll be having funky emotes even. Oh, it looks like Torreira is going to Barca boo. Oh, really, Paul? We've had so many mixed messages this whole stream. 1 minute he's coming to Tottenham. Next minute he's not. Then someone tells me that Wolves are signing a 21-year-old winger, which means he's probably coming to Spurs. And now you've hit me with he's going to Barca. Interesting. Would you want him then, Paul? Wolves have agreed to sign 21-year-old. Have I said that right? From Estoril. Oh my god, I butchered that. For initial 2.9 million. The Guardian. Oh, thank you, Alan. It was you that put that in earlier. Thank you. I have heard Torreira's waiting to go to Barcelona. Oh, he's going to Barcelona. Thoughts on Dele Alli's future? Needs to not be in a Spurs shirt. I've said this for a very long time, Ravi. He should have moved when PSG wanted him in the January transfer window. Could have reunited with Poch, reunited the Flame, found his love for football again, been in the shop window, could have sold him for a lot of money. If it was working out really good, could have brought him back to reignite his future at Tottenham, but sadly, nothing of that has happened. So he needs to be Newcastle for a lot of money, because we know they've got a lot of money, so they'll pay a lot of money. And he's English. But yeah, it's not in a Spurs shirt, that's for sure. Barca can have him. Fair comment, John. Everton crosses are beyond the Spurs attack as well. Oh, yeah, they do go quite high too. They're pretty much like a field goal in NFL, I feel. I think Everton's crosses are either because he's looking down at half the time or because the F-back is chasing him down and just tries to luck on the cross. I think that too, and I think he's got a lot of pressure on him because there was videos coming out of him practicing it in training. I think he knows he needs to sort his crossings out, and it's all good knowing, but I think he puts too much pressure on himself to deliver a good cross. It's just beyond me how he can make the best run or get into the best position, which I find is the hardest bit. I remember playing out wide, like you making that run is probably the hardest thing. The cross is easy because you've got it in your locker anyway. He just doesn't seem to have it. Thoughts on Matt Doherty? Can he improve? No. It's a simple answer to that question, Ravi. Emerson's only 22, played 10 Prem games in a new country, learned a new language, given time. Too many Spurs fans hating on him. Preach that, John. Preach it. It's been a long time since we've had a good right back or left back. Don't get me wrong. I think Reguilon is sometimes like it too. I think obviously his crosses are slightly better because we've seen a bit more of him. But I agree with you, John. He's only young. It's a new country, new language. Yeah, I think we're just very impatient as Spurs fans because the last probably best wing backs we had was probably well, you know what I mean. Left back, right backs is Kyle Walker and Danny Rose, and how long ago was that? So, when is your next live session? So it won't be Hollie's Hot Takes. No, please make sure you subscribe. It will be next Monday. It will be Hollie's Hotspurs, where I get on 3 guests from the Spurs community. I think, don't quote me. I can't remember because I ain't got my spreadsheet yet. It could be former Spurs player Graham Roberts again. But I will let you know. And that will be to discuss who do we have at the weekend. Oh, Chelsea once again. So it'll be Monday, 7 p.m. Hollie's Hotspurs. Won't just be me. We were 3 other guests. And then if you guys kind of like this style of video, I might let's see what Dan says into right to John. I think he's brilliant as a right back defendant. I do like him. I have faith Conte will help him. I do too. What are your thoughts? Oh my Paul, I've had a meltdown some of this stream where people I saw McCandy obviously he's leaving. I didn't realise it was Blackburn, but I knew he was leaving. It's beyond me, Paul. I don't get it. Lots of people have said, and I've said, he's probably the next best thing at Tottenham. He's like ridiculously good in the under-23s. I don't know how he hasn't broken into the senior squad. I don't blame him for leaving if he wants first team football because he's there you go, John. You're getting a lot of claps, mate. I'll preach it too. I know what you mean. Matt Doherty has been shocking. He's been horrendous. Not shocking, Ravi, horrendous. I also think, which has really knocked his confidence, was the fact that Conte played him left back when he's only got a right foot. I mean, many people say he hasn't got a right foot at all either. But when you're predominantly right footed, you stick him on the left. It was just a nightmare to happen because he couldn't run down the wing anyway. But he had to come back to pass the ball. It's just, yeah. Maybe that was Conte saying, mate, you need to leave. I'm going to play where you don't like to play. If you're enjoying the stream, again, Streamlabs, thank you for doing my work. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Thank you. I really enjoyed it when Graham Roberts came on, and he was more than happy to come on again. So I think he will, if I've got my timings right, my dates right, my brain is pretty much a sieve at the moment. He will be on next Monday at 7 p.m. with other guests. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you very much. Like I say, we've nearly hit our watch hours. To think I started out, the actual live show probably started this time last year. To think we're nearly at our watch hours is pretty cool. So soon we'll be able to have like other channels have, which is funky things come on the screen and emotes and stuff, which is quite cool. Hope won't be this. Oh, so do I, because I can't be asked to talk about another defeat against Chelsea. The first defeat was hard enough when I went to the game. So then obviously witnessed that 2 weeks ago, and then to witness it again last week was just a joke. So yeah, hopefully we won't be. I agree, Holly. You don't get it. Thoughts on Hugo Lloris? Is he good as he used to be? Now, I was on a show last Friday, with Albert JTV. There's not many Arsenal fans I like, but Albert is class. He was saying about Lloris, saying he's made a lot of errors. And I think when I was on there with Jay as well, we said, but who do you get in? Who do you get in that's won a World Cup? For the money Tottenham have, considering all of our other problems at the moment, the club in terms of just won't. I think Lloris is aged like Raymond Vega would say, fine wine. I think he's got better with age. I think the thing that really knocked him was obviously his injury when he played against Brighton. I can't remember exactly what he did now. Whether it was his elbow or his shoulder or whatever. He was out for a long time, and Gazzaniga had to come in, who I miss, by the way, because Bellini is an egg. Anyway, back in the subject to Lloris, there's no one we're going to bring in, really, that's going to be affordable and good enough. Oh, what happened there? Someone walked across it. Oh. That was weird. Am I back? But yeah, lost my train of thought now that happened. Sorry, that went a bit glitchy. I think someone went to the toilet and walked over my thing. But yeah, there's no one you're going to get in. No one. I like this where you chat by yourself and then we can see the one with the guests as well. Oh, I appreciate that. Maybe I'll make this more of a regular thing, Alan. I think maybe Hollie's Hotspurs will always be a Monday at 7 p.m. And then maybe if I feel like it or I've got time, I'll whiz up a Hollie's Hot Takes because it is quite nice. Rumours are Leicester want to get our game postponed. I mean, another stress-free week, but come on, man. Lol, Holly, word of the stream, horrendous. It is, man, horrendous with a capital H. Well, yeah, after that, the stream went a bit glitchy. Then I think I do need a drink. But yeah, no, like I say, I will let you know if you don't follow me on the Twitter, Holly Ackenbar. That's when you'll probably know who's on the show quicker than you know who's on the show on YouTube. But yeah, I'd have lost my train of thought. Hopefully, we are talking about a win against Chelsea or a draw. That would be nice. Maybe Hugo signed his contract due to our sell to buy transfer policy, and with all the talks of Conte walking if we don't sign anyone, and seeing we're 17 days and I haven't seen any transfers. That is a very good point, Dan. Maybe he is holding out. Maybe he is waiting to see the developments because I know he wants to go back to Nice. I know that was the rumour a few weeks ago. Maybe he is holding out for a release clause or buyout clause within his new contract, or I think that's the thing with the whole Harry Kane debacle. I think having that Harry Kane debacle has made other players think, especially those that have been here for a bloody long time, think actually I need to actually think about my future as well. Because like I said, you sign them on long-term contracts, they've got no way out. That's all right, Rabbit. It's been nice to have you in. I'm sorry that. Well, I'm not sorry you're a Liverpool fan. You're probably doing quite well as a Liverpool fan. But yeah. Well, you should get Ricky Norwood on if you haven't already. He used to be. I'm gonna get the soap wrong, aren't I? He used to be in. I think he's on Chris Cowling's show, isn't he? I love Chris. I might have a word with Chris. He might be able to sort me out with something. But like I say, the dream is. You can clip this because I hope in a few years' time it becomes a reality. I'll have the likes of, say, Ledley King or Michael Dawson, or even, if I have Defoe on the channel, I think I might cry. But like, I love having Ray Roberts on. I love having Raymond Vega on, and I've loved having Mickey Hazard on because they're legends of the football club. But I'd never get to watch them play. I never had the luxury of watching them play. So have someone on I grew up watching would be class. So you can clip that. That's the future of Hollie's Hotspurs, I hope. I am, yeah. It's a bit. I think it's got a bit stale recently, in that kind of sense. It's got a bit stale under Conte, but I also think that's because he hasn't got the players he wants. He hasn't necessarily got the. I know I'm talking about Emerson, but again, he hasn't got the best out of Emerson yet. Our defence has still been mixed matched, if that makes sense. Where we've lost Romero at the start of the season. We haven't had Dyer for a few weeks. So I can't be too negative about it. It's obviously better than Nuno. I think my nan running the football team would be better than Nuno. But yeah, I don't think I'm happy, content. Obviously, I'm content with Nuno, but yeah, it'll come. It'll come. Hello, Stevie. Welcome. I bet you're ticked off the North London derby was postponed. I've said all night long it's not your guys' fault. I wouldn't blame you. It's the Prem for allowing you to do it because they let Liverpool do it. But I think, thank you, Ravi. Thank you. It's rather I love it, man. I just hope soon I'll be able to talk to someone I watched play football growing up, because that would be sick. But I have been live for an hour and 6 minutes, and we're probably all getting bored of my rabbling. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone that's tuned in tonight. I have really enjoyed it. I do really enjoy Hollie's Hotspurs. Oh my god, there's more people talking. Let's not. Son doesn't play well. Lucas is doing his best as usual, but he's no Son. Agreed. I also think though Lucas has been the burning light throughout. I think he's always been the burning light. Son, I don't know what's going on with him at the moment. I really don't. Love our Spurs legends. I'm the same. Would have been great to have seen them, but before my time. Agreed. Here he is. Albert, I was just saying that we were talking about Lloris on your channel, man. Someone asked, I think it was Ravi actually in the chat, he asked about Lloris, and I was like, well. Albert said, no, I'm joking. Thank you, Albert, for tuning in, mate. That was it was the Prem for allowing Liverpool to do it. I don't think Spurs fans should go at us with no midfield with full COVID. You didn't have 4 COVID cases at the time, my friend. You had 1, which turned into 2. It's not our problem that you have players off in an AFCON tournament. And we had injuries too. Your under-23s played a game on Friday. So you could have fielded a team. It just wouldn't have been your best team. I'm not having a go at you because obviously, why not do it when Liverpool have done it? I'm having a go at the Prem. You should get... That would be quite funny, but don't forget an edge and edgeways. Do you know what I mean? Big up, Hollie. I hope Arsenal are not allowed to play their semi-final versus Liverpool. They want to play Liverpool before Salah and Mane are back. That is true. But again, Liverpool are just the same. I'm going to ignore that time. I'm just going to ignore it. You should get some of your subs in to talk about football. Someone has told me maybe I should do a call-in show. That would be quite cool. I've got a few things happening in the next couple of weeks. This won't be my background anymore, as I'm moving out. So this will not be my background. This won't be my thing for very much longer in the terms of I might have a little bit better internet. So maybe we could do a call-in show, which would be quite cool. I think Sonny is knackered. I think so too. When's Dyer back? A good question. I know Romero's back in training, so that's a good sign. I'm not sure about Dyer. Better late than never. Turn up to your live stream at the end. Preach it, man. I am trying to end it, but people keep asking me cool questions. And I want to keep answering them. Oh, Jesus. I think it is better for both clubs. I don't think it was better for both clubs. I'm going to disagree. Yes, we may have had Sonny out, but we both have injuries. Our recruitment hasn't recruited anyone in the AFCON tournament. Like, that's not our problem. I don't think it's better for both teams. It just means we're not playing you until Sonny's fit. and sending 2 players on loan. That is also not our problem. I know how times have changed, Darren. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The man that I would call an egg plus other names under the sun is now probably one of our consistent centre-backs. When he comes back from injury or having or whatever he's had, mate, I hope he's not bad again. Is Romeo playing on Wednesday? I don't know. He's been in training since, I think, last week. So he could be, if the Leicester game goes ahead. Should we take Eriksen? I think, I spoke about this earlier, Faz. We're the only club, apart from obviously Lukaku and Chelsea, we're the only club to loan out, to sell Bell, buy Bell back. I know it was a loan, but you know what I mean. Then to sell Eriksen, get Eriksen back. I just wouldn't touch it again. As much as I love the nostalgia of Bale coming back, I just don't want it again. I also wouldn't get your hopes up, AFC Stevie, because Fabrizio Romano was on a chat show last night talking about obviously Arsenal going for him, and saying that he doesn't want to leave Fiorentina till the summer, even though Arsenal keep pushing it. It's not happening. And then he said, who would he see him signing for, and who do you think he should go for? And he said Tottenham. So say what you will. Conte and Levy don't want him. Oh, well, Eriksen, yeah. No, Eriksen was crap the last 2 seasons he played for us. He would be better in coaching, right? And I mean, the poor devastation that happened afterwards. I'm glad he's back playing football again, but I have to agree, the last 8 months his tenure at Tottenham was awful. But again, who did that to him? It was Tottenham. He wanted out. And fair play to him. He still managed to create things for us. He probably still got a few points that we never would have had if we didn't have him. But again, his poor attitude was probably because of the way they handled him wanting out. But again, if you sign these lengthy contracts, that's sadly what you have to put up with. I want Dyer in the England squad, but the next international break, but I don't as well, because Sod's law, he'll get an injury. But he does deserve it. Agreed, Dan. I think he has really pulled his weight, as much as I slated him last season and this season. My God, what's going on with my internet, man? It has really, yeah. I think I'm going to call that there, because it's going a bit dookie. I think someone's walked over my internet again. Eriksen on the bench better than Ndombele playing. Agreed. I can't disagree with that, to be fair. Hit the nail on the head. Every player should want to come to Spurs. They can leave and are guaranteed the cup or a league. They should be, but it's just not the ethos at Tottenham anymore. Anymore at the moment. I hope that improves. I said I've only seen 1 trophy in my lifetime. It's fucking miserable. Yeah, I agree, Alan. Right, I'm going to wrap this up because my internet is having a fit. So, like I said, I want to say thank you to everyone that has tuned in tonight. It's been very nice to have a bit of a therapy session. It's been nice answering some of your questions. Like I say, hopefully the postponement of the Arsenal game isn't too late. I'm hoping it's not midweek, because that would be shit for me. But I'm going to wrap it up. Like I say, it keeps dipping. Like I say, thanks again. I will see you all. Thank you for all your lovely comments. I really appreciate it. Thank you for everyone for sticking in, tuning in to me rabbling. But I will see you next Monday, 7 p.m. Like I said, I think it's Graham Roberts next Monday at 7 p.m. to talk about the Chelsea game. But I need to look at the spreadsheet. But I do really appreciate it. Let's hope that the game on Wednesday does go ahead, because that would be lovely. There'll be no game review for that, obviously, because I only do the weekend ones for Hollie's Hotspurs, but hopefully in the future that might change. Thank you very much, everyone. And until next time, you know the drill, Jimmy Bullard style. Come on, you Spurs.